All right, let's talk about the Michigan Wolverines here for a little bit. Look, obviously, it's been an exciting spring campaign for the Michigan Wolverines. We're seeing what the future of this Wolverines team, specifically on offense, but also on defense as well. But every great program in Michigan is obviously a great program. Always has to keep an eye towards the future in terms of building out their roster, not just for the short term, but for the long term as well. And to that end, the Michigan Wolverines have secured a massive commitment. Let's get into the article, then we'll talk about it more in detail on the other side. This is courtesy of The Athletic. Offensive lineman Avery Gatch, a four-star recruit ranked number 236 in the 24/7 Sports Composite, committed to Michigan on Friday over Michigan State, Ohio State, and Wisconsin. Gatch plays at Groves High School in Beverly Hills, Michigan, and is the number 2 prospect in the state for the class of 2025, behind only 5-star quarterback Bryce Underwood, who committed to LSU. As one of the top offensive line prospects in the Midwest, he was heavily recruited by programs in the Big Ten and also had offers from Alabama, Georgia, Notre Dame, and Texas A&M. All right, so Gatch is obviously a big-time prospect, both literally and figuratively. This is a huge get for the Michigan Wolverines. Miles, I'm curious what your thoughts are on this. But first, Michigan fans in the comment section below, got a very interesting question for you today because I'm sure it's a really hard one to answer. But who's your favorite Michigan offensive lineman of all time? You can only pick one. There's literally been about 5,000, maybe 50,000 pounds worth of great offensive linemen, but you can only pick one. Favorite Michigan offensive lineman of all time? Put them in the comment section below. But Miles, give me your thoughts on the addition of Gatch to this Michigan Wolverines football team.
Yeah, Nate, I think this is a big commitment. I think it's going to be good for the program, definitely. I think that he's going to bring a lot to the table. Michigan has been known to really value the offensive line position, especially under the Harbaugh years. They constantly won awards for the best offensive line players, and we've seen their guys go on to do great things. So I'm sure, the eye for talent for a guy like Gatch is going to be something superb, and, he's going to be a really, really great player, and we'll talk about him more in a little bit. But I think this is something bigger. I think this means a lot for head coach Jerome Moore because he comes into the team and really, last year, or this offseason, is kind of transition year. Guys are going to stay. Guys are going to keep their commitments, maybe not want to leave. But this next year, 2025, this is one where people really had to decide, does Moore have what it takes to cut his chops and be the next head coach of Michigan, or do we go somewhere else? And this was a big get, being the number 2 player in the state of Michigan, showing that Moore can already get top players in his state. I think this shows really great sign for him as a recruiter, and just that people trust him, that he seems to be the right selection for the head coaching position. I know we all have seen a lot of great things out of him, but this was kind of the real test. Can he start to nail down, and we talked about this, when you recruit, go locally, then branch out a little bit to surrounding states. Then if you can recruit nationally, those are the phases that you move up in. So being able to get a big time commitment locally first just shows he's focusing on the right things and he's making a lot of progress. Getting the number 2 player in the state of Michigan, I say, is a pretty good job by head coach Ron Moore. So I think this is big for Michigan. But on the flip side of things, like you said, Avery, he's a great player. He's absolutely massive at 6'5", 290. This is a guy who comes in here and he just is a mauler. He loves contact. You look at his tape, he's running downfield, looking to meet people always, to get that last hit in. This guy, I think he's going to be perfect for the Michigan Wolverines and really add to the greatness that they are trying to have on the offensive line.
Yeah, I agree with all that. I think Sharon Moore getting this in-state recruit, of course, is big, especially considering that Ohio State and other programs were very aggressively pursuing him. And you better believe these competition programs were looking at Gatch here and saying, "Hey, listen, don't. Why would you want to go to Michigan? Harbaugh left. They're a team on the decline, right?" I guarantee you that's a selling point the competition is trying to use. Credit to Sharon Moore and his staff for fighting back against that and getting this recruit to commit. So great sign for Sean Moore. I agree with you there. But when it comes to Gatch as a prospect, he may be my favorite prospect I've seen probably in the last couple of years. And I'm not just saying that because I love the way he plays the game stylistically. As a former offensive lineman myself, I played college football, D1 AA, nowhere near as good as Gatch. But I watch his film. He plays the game the way an offensive lineman should play the game. He takes great angles. He gets the right body position on defensive linemen, right? He's not just blindly going downfield. You watch some tape, some highlight film of people, and they're just running downfield, and they just kind of like just throw their bodies like a projectile missile, and just every once in a while they'll deplete a linebacker that's 160 pounds in high school. And I'm like, great, that's not going to translate. But I look at Gatch. He takes great angles. He gets his hand in the right position. He gets his body in the right position, and then he buries people 15, 20 yards downfield. He literally pancakes everybody he sees with great angles, with great body position, great reach blocks. He has patience in the pass protection game. He goes for the pancake after he already made the block. And to me, that's the sign of a skill set that can translate to the next level. Because look, if you just go full bore, that may work at the high school level, right? But you do that in the Big Ten, you do that in college, you're going to get embarrassed, right? You have to use your hands, feet, skills, and smarts to put your body in the right position to make the block. Then you have to execute on the block. Then you go for the pancake. Then you go for the impact. A lot of high school players can't do that. They need to be coached to do that when they get to the next level. Gatch is already there as a junior. That's a great sign for Michigan going forward, because I think that means not only will he be a great player for the Wolverines, he'll be an impact player early as well.